Hi guys, I'm Marcy.
I'm Aramis, and we've just sat down to do
Another edition of DirectorioTV.
Yeah, so on this edition, we're going to take a look at Radio Republica, our shortwave radio station. We've gotten audience reports all over Cuba. People listen to it a great deal. It's an important tool for the resistance on the island. And since it's shortwave, it actually travels a very great distance. We've also had audience reports from as far away as South Africa, Ireland, a couple of other neat places.
Sounds great. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
So on top of that, you're going to be able to watch Aramis get very embarrassed by our own National Secretary, Orlando Gutierrez. So stay tuned.
Yeah, so it's not really that funny, and
Yes.
okay, watch, you'll see. Welcome to another edition of Directorio TV. I'm Aramis Perez, and we have a guest today to speak about one of our most important programs, Radio Republica, Republic Radio. And our guest is Directorio's National Secretary, Dr. Orlando Gutierrez Boronat. So welcome to Directorio TV. And tell us a bit about Radio Republica. Why does Cuba need a radio station like Radio Republica?
Well, Radio Republica or Radio Republic or Republic Radio, however you want to translate it, is a station aimed at informing Cubans about themselves. What we do is we interview people throughout Cuba who are bravely challenging the regime in a peaceful manner, as independent journalists, as independent labor activists, as student leaders. We're trying to bring about nonviolent change inside Cuba. We interview them and then we retransmit it to the island so that people of Cuba find out what's going on in their own country, which the censorship by the regime tries to prevent them from knowing.
Okay, so even though we're sitting in a Radio Republica studio right now, we're in Miami, Florida, we can't really say that Radio Republica is based in Miami because we've got this connection with people on the island.
Yeah, I think Radio Republica is a station that was conceived as a station by Cubans for Cubans in the island. And what we do here outside Cuba is try to relay that information coming from the island, to package it, and also to provide our people there in the resistance with information, with news, with stuff that is pertinent to the struggle that they're carrying out.
One of the interesting things about Radio Republica is the variety of programming. You mentioned information, you mentioned activists, but Radio Republica has a really wide range. What kinds of programs do we transmit?
Well, we transmit a lot of stuff that's about culture, about youth, about what's going on in the world of science, about what's going on in terms of political events around the world. It's a station designed to get people thinking. And I think that's why there's a lot of people, even in the regime, who are tuning into Radio Republica, because it's a thinking station. It's, freedom comes from your ability to think. So we want to empower free thought inside Cuba.
Yeah, one of the most important shows on Radio Republica is Barrio Adentro, which you'll see a clip of in a little bit. Barrio Adentro is hosted by Yanisette Rivero, who's the adjunct national secretary, and it's a call-in show. She has these long conversations with activists, with ordinary people who aren't involved in any particular organization in Cuba, and sometimes she's even interviewed people who are members of the Communist Party. These views are freely exchanged, but there's a point here. People are having a conversation that's geared toward a certain, toward discovering a certain truth or transmitting a certain truth. What is it that Radio Republica is getting at?
What Radio Republica is trying to get to is empower people so they search for truth on their own. Human reality is there. It exists. You can distort views, you can hide information from people, but you can't deny that reality. So we're trying to provide people with the information, with the resources, so that search for truth that every human being carries out is guided towards understanding the reality. Because what a dictatorship tries to do is it tries to obfuscate or distort reality to keep people confused and powerless. The clearer you think, the better you act. So this station is designed to empowering that diversity of intellectual dialogue which people need.
Is there a particular moment in Radio Republica's history that made you most proud? Is there something, a particular achievement that Radio Republica has gotten to that you're very happy about?
Well, there are many. When a group of neighbors in one of Cuba's eastern cities managed to put together a draft petition, including members of the Communist Party, to stop a dam from being built that was going to seriously affect the environment in that area. I think that was a major victory, and I think Radio Republica participated in that. When we've interviewed members of the Communist Party who are angry about the closing of plants in Cuba without workers being advised. When we've been the first to let the world know about a certain type of repression taking place, something you've done. The news has come in, we managed to relay it quickly. when we managed to connect Cuban student leaders with Venezuelan student leaders. I think there's many instances, many small moments that constitute a great whole where Radio Republica has played the role it has to play, a strategic asset of the Cuban resistance inside the island. And by the way, you're pretty good at this.
Okay, bueno.
This guy's pretty good. I mean, he's good. He's like an anchorman, and he hasn't written any of this. He's just improvising. It's really good.
Well, it's a talent that I've developed on Radio Republica.
Well, you speak on Radio Republica. You have programs on the news.
Yeah, so he's turning the tables now, and this is
no, but he is quite good. I mean, he's really good. Ask Alex, who's doing the camera.
Yeah. So yeah, our greetings to Alex and to all of you who are watching.
Can you do this in all three languages or just in English?
I can do it in English and Spanish. French is tougher.
You gotta
but we'll wrap up for today, and we'll show you a little bit of Radio Republica in just a couple of seconds.
He's good. He's really good.
See you in a bit.
Esto va a ser grande y me voy a tirar día por día para la calle y no entiendo con ninguno de ustedes, asesinos. Nosotras somos mujeres que solamente vamos a la iglesia a pedir por nuestros presos, por nuestros hermanos que ustedes están acabando, matando lentamente, como el hermano Siguer, como otros hermanos, como todos los que están enfermos. Nosotros lo que queremos es la libertad de esos hermanos. Ustedes asesinaron a Zapata, tienen que reconocerlo, tienen que parar por eso, porque el golpe de la familia ha sido muy grande y para el mundo doloroso, de asesinar a ese joven negro de 42 años solamente por pensar, por buscar una libertad pacíficamente para todos los humanos.
Pero ellos van a tener que enfrentar a la justicia, a la verdadera justicia, la tendrán que enfrentar. Por eso el mayor Roland va y te visita. Y yo creo que el ejemplo que ustedes están dando de salir pacíficamente a pesar de la represión es importante. Y es importante que el mundo conozca y que el pueblo cubano también conozca que a estas mujeres, a esta madre que le han asesinado a su hijo, le quieren impedir ir al cementerio, le quieren impedir ir a misa. Es el colmo de la arrogancia, es la falta de respeto y la falta de derechos más grande. Sin embargo, es más importante esa persistencia de ustedes, esa resistencia ante la injusticia. Reina, vamos a una brevísima pausa musical aquí Barrio Adentro y cuando volvamos vamos a hablar de esto que ustedes acaban de crear, que la familia Zapata Tamayo acaba de crear allí en Banes Holguín, un partido opositor. Cuando volvamos.